Hello photography fans, and welcome to another episode about classic cameras and classic photo gear. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about yet another cool camera. We're going to be talking about quite an unusual camera. You may have seen these before, but I've came across one of these beauties and I decided to buy it. I go, what the hell, it's just a few dollars and seems like a useful camera. So without further ado, let's bring in our subject. What I have in my hand beside the beer is this old Japanese camera. They used to call these yen cameras because when they were originally introduced, they were actually sold for a yen, Japanese yen. And I got this camera for a couple dollars plus shipping off of eBay. It's a tiny camera, as you can see, and we'll get some details on it. A very simple camera too. It's got one shutter speed, which is basically time. There is some kind of instantaneous, but the instantaneous is pretty much useless. It's called, this one has a name and it's called Camera Junior 2. Most of them didn't have any names. They were just unnamed yen cameras. The design, the build is quite cheap. It's just cardboard box, a simple shutter. And what I liked about it, it's a view camera. It has a screen, a ground glass, and we'll see the pictures before you take it. It takes pictures roughly 35mm by about 27mm. So roughly, quite small, almost the size of the 35mm film frame. It normally, when it was introduced, it was sold with no darkroom film. So basically you got a film cassette kind of like this. I made this and I will talk about this in a second. And there was film in it. And you would dip it, you would get solution with it. So you would take a picture and you would dip it in one solution and the other solution and you would rinse it and you would have a negative. My camera didn't come with that film holder and I wanted to take pictures with this camera. So I decided to go ahead and build my own film holder, and I've already built a camera 11x14 once, and I used the same design to build this cardboard version of a film holder. And I didn't use film, I used paper instead, and I took like 6 pictures with it, which is a pain in the butt because I actually only have one of these. So I had to take a picture, come back, develop, go back, take a picture. Pain in the ass. But nevertheless, I took about 6 pictures. I'm going to share these at the end of the video. I don't think they're great quality, but it's just the fact that this camera takes pictures. That's what amazes me. That's what's great about these cameras. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at this very simple camera. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. A yen camera. Like I mentioned already, super simple design, very cheaply made. Otherwise they wouldn't be able to sell this for a yen. I don't know how much yen it was back when this camera was produced, but I would imagine it would be roughly the equivalent of $1. This camera was produced between 1930s and 1940s. Obviously the target market were kids. And this kind of reminds me of Brownie, Kodak Brownie. They did the marketing the same way. As you can see, it has a ground glass in the back and a wood frame, which kind of came apart, and I had to glue it. It's wrapped in some kind of vinyl or some kind of leatherette, which is not a real leather. And it has a shutter here. And I'll let you hear it. So basically you have 2 settings. One is bulb or time. Basically it's a time because you don't hold anything. So This is a time setting, and you have what I would call instantaneous, but I don't know how well it works, since if you hesitate, it becomes a T setting, but if you kind of press it all the way, it's roughly about 1/50th of a second. It has one of these prism, not prism, but mirror viewfinders. It's useless. Basically, in a bright sunlight, you can't see much. This is useless too, because of the glare, unless you cover yourself, but then again, you have to carry all the dark cloth with you. The strap on it is kind of messed up, it's broken, but it's still working. I like this metal piece. This is a nice addition to otherwise cheap camera. And like I mentioned, it didn't come with a film holder, since obviously they were cardboard apparently, and they're all gone. So I made my own. I basically took some black construction paper. I staggered some pieces. I used school glue, and I put it together. If you need more information on how I built this, there's a video of mine on how I built a 11x14 camera, and it's exactly same design, same principle, but instead wood, I used construction paper. And it worked quite nice, and I'm going to show you some pictures, but these are just paper negatives. At the end of the video, I'm actually going to show you the positive, which will be scanned. So I made one of these, and like I mentioned, I used only one, so every time I took a picture I had to bring it down to the darkroom, develop it, and then load a new piece. There's not much to talk about these cameras. There's a whole bunch of them out there, different kinds. So if you ever come across one, it's a cool little addition to a camera collection. It doesn't take much space. It works fine for what it is. It's not supposed to be anything advanced or anything extraordinary. It's a simple camera. I took this shutter apart just to clean the lens. It's a meniscus lens, so obviously the pictures I'm expecting to be sharper in the middle while quite soft on the edges. That's pretty much it about this camera. I'll be sharing more videos about different cameras. I have a few of those that I haven't made videos about. So here are some pictures that this camera took. As you can see, they're quite small. They're about the size of a large postal stamp. And I'll be scanning these to make them into positives, and I'll be posting the results at the end of the video. I'm just excited that this camera produced anything. I'm excited that my design for film holder worked. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this short overview of this beautiful classic Yan camera. If you ever come across one, don't hesitate, purchase one. I'm pretty sure you'll be happy with it. It's a cool little addition to any camera collection, and it definitely can be used and it still can take pictures. So until next time, keep shooting film and keep the film alive.
There's one pet I like to pet, and every evening we get set. I stroke it every chance I get. It's my girl's pussy. Seldom plays and never purrs, and I love the thoughts it stirs. But I don't mind because it's hers, my girl's pussy. Often it goes out at night.